Since we're just saying things, I guess we could shout out some other people who just say things. Another list that dropped is Complex's top 25 media personalities, hip hop media personalities.
That was another one that fucked up.
Why did they specify hip hop?
Because
why couldn't it just be media personalities?
Because they cover hip hop and everyone on the list was hip hop.
But I'm saying, what made them do like a hip hop specific list? Not mad at it. I'm just asking.
I think it's because Complex is a hip hop publication.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they just hip hop? I didn't know that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they say they're like culture. I think their thing is like black culture.
Okay.
Because they do like, complex fashion, complex sports. I think that's kind of their MO.
I guess they could get it off. But I was happy with it. It was cool to see Gabe P on there, Arshawn, shout out.
Yeah,
niggas.
let's go through and talk about some of these people.
Adam 22 at number 22. That's funny how they did that.
Can you walk us in from the top and we can just, talk about everyone a little bit?
Okay, so like number 25 type?
Yeah.
Number 25 was, am I reading the whole 25?
Do you guys think we should? I think we can talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so at number 25, we have Gabe P of On the Radar.
He could have been higher.
I agree. I don't know if I like that ranking.
For what he's done this year.
I think it was a good starting spot.
And I guess his voice isn't as active in the space as much as just his platform.
Because the interviews don't do as well as the freestyles and stuff like that. But just building the platform, and I think how well curated it is. And just how it really is driven towards giving up and coming artists a chance from all over. He did On the Radar, Detroit, On the Radar. I want to say he went to like Nashville or something, but like they were doing some country sessions. So I like seeing Gabe getting acknowledged on this.
Yeah, he's on his way up too. Every year I feel like that's gonna jump.
At 24, we got Arshawn Jawad, however you say it, of Kids Takeover. They said this nigga is refreshingly unproblematic content about rappers.
That was cool, really cool to see him acknowledged by Complex, because I think that's someone that we've all followed since kind of the start of his career, and I do think his page is one of my favorite pages in the space. So it was really cool to see him acknowledged.
Yeah, I definitely think that he has like one of the best like aesthetic pages when it comes to like these media journalism like type pages, and it you can tell he puts a lot of care into like everything he does. How did they phrase that? Could you just say that again?
Refreshingly unproblematic content about rappers.
Okay.
I feel like that's true. It is kind of like wholesome music first content. He doesn't really get caught up in the drama.
Oh no, okay, I see what you mean. I was confused with what they meant by like unproblematic, but yeah, he doesn't really focus on the drama, and I feel like his page doesn't cover like gossip necessarily.
True.
So
Adam 22 is number 22.
We need to get him off the list at this point.
Yeah, I think he's on the way down.
Why is he there?
I mean, I think people still go to No Jumper. No Jumper is still a platform
For hip hop, though?
that was built up. I mean, there's a legitimate amount of people going there still. They get interviews regularly.
Like Woo's Killer?
He's like Vlad. He's approaching Vlad territory.
He's far worse than Vlad. He's far worse than Vlad.
He is worse than Vlad, because I feel like Vlad, even though he exploits the culture, like, oh, that's a crazy sentence, but he definitely exploits the culture. But I feel like at the end of the day, he's really just asking questions. I feel like Adam 22 like goes above and beyond to get people tripped up.
For sure.
And number 21, Van Lathan. I like Van Lathan. I think he's interesting. I don't know. He like came up off TMZ. So like, I feel like he's part of that like old head era a little bit. But whenever I hear him talk about stuff, he always has an interesting take. Number 20, Trapalore Ross is hilarious to me. Have you guys seen?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, is that the dude that does like
all the Chicago violence,
yes,
like documentaries,
the
and
white
stuff
dude
like that? Yeah,
yeah, I've seen him.
I think he's cut from that Adam 22 Vlad cloth.
He did the video that was like King Von, a look at hip hop's first serial killer, right? Yeah, fuck that guy.
Number 19 is Nadeska. I really, really like Nadeska. I think that she's one of those like very, very like, it says textbook interviewing skills and the ability to write fair, nuanced commentary about trending topics. great at being just an unbiased interviewer.
Definitely.
Like really, really good interview questions, always very prepped, always knows how to kind of navigate things without ever she doesn't feed into the drama and things like that. She's there to talk about, get questions through, you know what I mean? I mean,
she had to fucking mediate Ak and Joe for all those years. She had to be able to navigate some dicey territory. Is she full-time with Apple now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 18 is Sway.
Legend.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We know that. Angela Yee.
Legend.
I think same thing, but I really like the lip service pod.
Yeah, she out of all the Breakfast Club people, I feel like I was the most impressed with this year, just in her own solo venture. It's really cool to see her grow.
And it's dope to see how she supports women and how women support her.
True.
I think that's definitely going to be the lane that continues to just feed into her success. Number 16 is Big Boy.
Legend.
Super bald. But shout out him.
The baldest. The baldest.
Angie Martinez. I'm honestly more of an Angela Yee person than Angie Martinez. Bootleg Kev, number 14. I love Bootleg Kev.
I do too.
I'm a fan of his for sure. He gets a little weird in his interviews when he gets the right space. I think that if you get him with the right interviewee, he does great. We've obviously saw last year when it's the wrong interviewee, ESTG, it doesn't go great.
Bootleg Kev, you said Angel Reese is your player comp.
Yeah.
Bootleg Kev is probably mine.
Your pod comp?
Don't you think?
Yes.
I feel like that's pretty accurate.
I do think that is yours.
I like to think my ceiling's a little higher, but
he body and shit because it's just him dolo too.
Oh, I know, but I'm thinking I'm trying to be number 1, not number 14. You know.
Number 13, Rory and Mal.
They're weird.
Ugh.
They're weird.
Based off what?
They're just weird, people. You don't get that vibe?
No.
I think they're a little weird.
Have you watched their shit?
I have.
They seem mad normal.
No. Mal is not a normal guy.
Why?
Because Mal, when the Drake thing was going on, was going crazy for Drake.
Because he knew,
man,
he's going crazy for Drake in a way that it's bro, it's not that deep.
I think that if you know them and their content, it makes more sense. Because I agree. From the outside perspective, yes, it was doing a lot, but they were playing into it. That got more clicks than ever.
I don't know if they were playing in anything. I think he was just sucking Drake, bro.
I don't think Mal cares about Drake, really. I think
he
that
he seemed like he cared.
I know that was what was generating clicks for them and getting them more attention than ever, especially since they left. I think that they have no problem leaning into that role at all and will say whatever. You know what I mean? Because if you watch 30 minutes into the episode, after the take, it's we know when to tee up and get loud for the clip. You know what I mean? We know what's going to be that moment on Instagram. So I don't know. I like them. I like when they don't talk about hot button music topics. I like when they're kind of on their regular person shit and just talk about more deep cuts. I love how they just brought in live performances and things like that. They have a very active community. They do the little skits and stuff like that. I think they're getting creative with podcasting, and I think that they're taking over the live space in podcasting. They've went on tours 3 times over the last 2 years and are selling out legitimate shows. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
People are going to the live events, which I think is dope.
I need to really watch that whole pod because I do like them, and I really liked them when they were with Joe.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know. I give Rory vibes sometimes.
You give Rory vibes?
Yeah.
I can see it.
Number 12 is Yachty and Mitch.
Shout out.
It's crazy that they got ranked above Roy and Mal.
I feel like that's a little bit of disrespect.
They're so new to the space too.
So new to the space, and it's
as somebody that loves a safe place, it seemed a little high.
It's a little high, but they came out the gate hot. And I think that as long as they can stay consistent, they'll make this a worthwhile placement. You know what I mean?
And I mean, I'm thinking about the most memorable interviews of the last year. They got a couple of them.
They have big moments.
You know, the J. Cole interview was huge, I feel like. That's the only sit down that he's done.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's a huge interview.
And they've pulled some crazy guests. I like the Sexy Red one was definitely a moment.
Huge.
Not all of it for the best reasons, but great dynamic. I love them.
Mm-hmm. I think they could just work. I mean, and I was gonna say they're young, but Yachty's literally my age, and then Mitch is older than me. I do really feel like in order for that to be a more well-rounded podcast, eventually they have to like develop their emotional intelligence a little bit more. Because like the Sexy Red episode, they really could have dove into it a little bit more and really could have broke down what she was talking about in a way that would have honestly opened their audience up a lot more. But instead, they just chose to be weird and dodge the question and dodge what she said.
You are 100% right. They need a third person.
No.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Because Yachty will always be the cool artist perspective, an interesting, unique look because they can relate to the guest. He makes music. Mitch is hilarious, so essential. But they do need somebody to add just a little bit of structure. I like when Kiana, the producer, be like correcting them off camera. You know what I mean? Because she's always like, "Yo, you guys are being idiots. Like it's this." You know what I mean?
But I think that's perfect.
But they should mic her up then. Because you can never hear what she says.
To an extent, yes. I do think that maybe giving her a mic so like she can, and as long as she has she keeps the same, is it still going?
Yeah.
As long as she keeps the same type of cadence, it's good. But I don't know. I just love their dynamic. I don't want to like change it. I think they need to just develop it more and get older. And like maybe face some backlash and things like that. Find the right moments to go deeper, the right moments to kind of pull back and like redirect, it's practice. Number 11's Nori. I feel like I haven't seen a Drink Champs episode in a while. I want to see more though. When Drink Champs was in its heyday, I really enjoyed it.
So good.
Nardwar, legend. Shout out. Grew up on Nardwar stuff. Haven't really been tapped into the new stuff. My favorite moment from Nardwar was actually the laser dim giving him a gift.
That was awesome.
That was viral.
I mean, and I think the Tyler interview was within the last year too, which was a great interview.
Yeah, that was good. Gilly Wallow.
Shout out.
Fire platform. $1 million worth of game is one of my favorite podcasts.
I'll say that I want more from Gilly. I'll definitely say that I want more from Gilly. I think Wallow is dope and so necessary in the space, especially with who they're talking to and the type of knowledge that he could give them. And I think Gilly, when he's on, is obviously really funny. I think intros are unmatched. He brings that energy, excitement, like makes it feel like a moment. They could ask, like, he could ask better questions. Yeah. You know what I mean? He could play his role a little bit better because I think you kind of know what Wallow's going to bring to the conversation. I think Gilly has that within him because he's just so entertaining as a person. And I think that he is well-spoken in how he likes to talk, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So he can know how to kind of relate to the artist and know how to bring more out of them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, great platform. 8, Anthony Fantano.
Ew.
Why ew?
Ew.
Why?
He's just ew.
You gotta explain more, bro. He's very. What was the description of him? In-depth YouTube reviews and snarky but informed commentary.
Because he is so far from objective that it just hurts, bro. He goes into album reviews already knowing what he's gonna give it based off the artist and based off of the social commentary, based off the climate, based off of whatever he feels the artist deserves in that moment. It's not objective music reviews. It's not like what we do.
Do you think that?
I like watching his content. I'm a fan. I'm a consumer. I don't think I'd put him on the hip hop list because he will not ever say anything intelligent about a Gunna album or, you know what I mean, a Future album. He gives all that sub 5.
Why is it not? I think he would say.
I mean, I shouldn't say not anything intelligent, but he will never like that because it's very clear his taste. You know what I mean?
He likes some things in that lane.
What?
And I think that his reasoning is never like crazy.
I mean, he posted. You saw the Gunna review?
Yeah.
Just no words, just asleep.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, but like I don't know. He is just such a artsy, niche indie guy. You know what I mean? Like I guess because we have the JPEG Mafias of the world, we have the Bryce and I forget the duo's name. It's like a Beastie Boys rerun this year. That I guess he's still relevant in hip hop, but like I don't know.
There's always been a weird association with Fantano and hip hop, which I've never understood because he so openly reviews literally everything. I think that just the hip hop community is what's always searching for reviews, reactions. That's just something that always kind of goes hand in hand. And because he he posts stuff about everything hip hop gets associated with it. I don't mind Fantano because at least I know you probably listened to the album more than once, I would hope. And like, if he doesn't like something, unless it's the Gunna shit, it'd be funny. Like, he'll be trying to make a joke. But he's given Gunna reviews in the past. You know what I mean? So like, he'll go in depth and give reasons why he doesn't like something. And oftentimes it's not inaccurate. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's crazy because there'll be albums that I like 3 or 4 songs out of 18. Even 5 songs, you know what I mean? And
I don't know. An Anthony Fantano review is like a Pitchfork review. It's like, it'll be funny, but it's not really necessarily accurate. And it's a snap judgment.
Number 7 is Ebro.
Yep, sure. I actually, ever since he picked Good Kid over to Pimp a Butterfly, it's fuck Ebro.
Yeah, that's not really my bag. I don't really know anything about that. Number 6 is Vlad.
Like, what?
Yeah, this list is cooked, bro.
Yeah.
It was cooked. There's been a couple bad takes, but that was the worst one.
I think Vlad is too high. I got to see the reasoning for Vlad. They said controversial guests and outlandish sound bites.
I think the one thing you could say about Vlad that he is good at is just getting guests. Like, I do think he's interviewed a lot of people super early, and he does have his finger on the pulse. That being said, I hate the style of his interview. I hate just seeing the artist on camera and not seeing him, and then I hate his questions too.
Yeah, I'm not big on Vlad. I think he probably has a place on the list, to be honest, but I just wouldn't put him there. 5, Elliot Wilson. I know he's happy about this. And I'm happy about it too. I think Elliot is a staple in hip hop. I think Elliot is one of the people that really gives a fuck. Like, I think, you know how we give a fuck and like really, really care and really like want to like be like, yes, I have an opinion that I've really thought about this project, about hip hop, about everything in it. Mm-hmm. Elliot's cut from that cloth. Yeah. And I can definitely appreciate that. And I think that it was really hard for him to have to adjust from non-traditional journalism, especially as an older guy. And I think he's done a really, really good job, especially recently.
I think his Instagram is really cool. I think his Twitter is corny, and I think he's old.
But for how old he is, you know what I mean? I think I appreciate what he's doing. Shout out to him.
Yeah, no, the Drake Rap Radar interview is one of my favorite interviews of all time.
Iconic.
So
I really like Elliot.
Yeah. Charlamagne The God at number 4.
Terrible.
Bad choice. I'm not really looking to Charlamagne for any hip hop commentary.
Doesn't he have a podcast with Andrew Schultz now?
Yeah.
He's been had that.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I
just don't see how that could be good.
In its prime.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
What do they talk about?
Everything. And it's like funny.
It
really is. And like Charlamagne, you know what I mean, will check Schultz.
Yeah.
And like Andrew Schultz has a respect for him. But yeah, that's more just media in general. Number 3, Cenat. I'm interested to see you guys' take on this.
What is this list again? I'm
hip hop media personalities.
So this is my thing. Not that Kai doesn't deserve to be on like a media journalism list, but I think the one thing I'm confused about is like, okay, actually, yes, I'm confused about that. I don't think Kai has ever classified himself as a media journalist, and I think that he's the most popular Twitch streamer, right? And so,
well, it's not a journalist; it's just media personality.
Okay, got you. I just get confused. I think people try and make Kai's content deeper than it is.
I agree.
In all facets, whether it comes to the artists that come on his channel or the celebrities or like the skits that he does or like the themes that he puts on. Like, I think this is all just blanket entertainment, and I don't think it is necessarily like journalism. And I feel like putting him on this list like further takes out of context what he's really doing, which is entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not really like, I don't think he should be on this list.
If he wants to branch out into that, that's fine. But what he does right now, and I think he would agree, isn't journalism.
I think it's not, but that's not what this is asking of it. Like, the list isn't about journalism. It's just personality. So I think the angle, if you want to like go in Kai's favor, is he's giving these hip hop artists a platform to showcase more of their personality in a way that a more traditional interview doesn't. I don't think that that's been the outcome of the streams. But I could see how if you were like, oh, we have to give Cenat a nod, that's how you would do it.
I mean, I think he's placed perfectly. I think he belongs on this list, and I think 3 is the perfect spot for him.
3, though?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at the moments that he's had, the people that he's had on stream, and I don't see how it's different than what a lot of these people are doing. The older people, of course, they're cut from that more journalism cloth, but like other people are also entertaining. Whether it's their content might be a show on YouTube or Elliot. What does Elliot do that, Elliot posts on Instagram all day. Yes, he has his podcast as well where he gets on a camera and he talks into a mic and it gets clipped up.
And it goes more in depth about things. Like, I think that like the big takeaway from like a 21 Savage stream was like 21 tried to cheat Kai out of some money. Like, it wasn't like really like there was nothing more I was uncovering about 21 Savage from that. Whereas if 21 goes on any of these other platforms, we have more of a chance, it seems like, to learn more about the artist.
I guess that's true. I think you do learn a different thing. I think you might learn a little bit more about what they're actually like.
Yes.
You might know less about them, but you might feel like you know them more after watching them on a Kai stream. I don't know. I think I feel what you guys are saying. It's not journalism, but also I think we talked about this recently, and I think journalism is dying, if not dead, Yeah,
shout out Kai. Number 2, Joe Budden.
Should be 1.
I put him as number 1.
That's number 1. That's big dog.
Personally. I mean, if we're talking about... It's very similar to like what's happening in sports media. You like when players talk about the game.
Yep.
He was in it. And I think that Joe constantly, a little bit less now that he's getting money and trying to put things in position for himself. But he would really try to peel back the curtain for fans and show them not only what's going on in the industry and give his opinion on it from an insider perspective, but talk about the powers that be within the industry and how he's interacted and seen them grow throughout his journey, which is really, really dope. And I think that Joe is really smart. Like, he doesn't just come at anything half-assed. He knows when it's a big topic of conversation and treats it as such. So he's going to give you the full breakdown of the Not Like Us video and make sure everybody comes in prepared to really talk about every layer of this. He was documenting the beef amazing. The way that he goes back and forth with Cardi and is talking about that situation. Like, there's so many moments that Joe has really like paid the attention that I've wanted someone to. You know what I mean? I never walk away from Joe Budden talking about a subject and I'm like, damn, you could have went a little more in depth there. That's why I fuck with Joe on like doing all content.
And they tee up, that whole team. He's built such a great crew around him. And the way that they interact, I've never felt so attached to a supporting cast either. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm starting to understand their overall group dynamic, which is really cool. You know what I mean? And they really don't just glaze over the bullshit. You know what I mean? They go into full rants about life shit, which I think is so entertaining. And they can just talk and talk and talk. And as somebody that's doing it, you really have to respect it when you sit down and watch the full episode and see. I understand why you do the Patreon, why you're on Patreon. It's because like now that I'm actually consistently listening to the episodes, I want to join their Patreon. You know what I mean? And he talks about podcasting too, which I think is cool. You know what I mean? And like just it's inspirational as men on mics. You know literally what I mean? What he was able to build, it's crazy.
The rant that he went on today on the most recent episode was fire because he's like, I've spent the last like 10, 15 years cutting out all the middlemen. Yeah. So like, if you want to talk to me, if you want to get my opinion on anything or see what I have to think about anything, there's no business like manager, there's no label, there's no entity that you could speak to besides my DMs. Yeah. Talk to me directly. You know what I mean? If you want to know what I think about something, watch the podcast. It'll come directly from my mouth. But there's no one who's going to release statements for me. There's no one controlling this. This is all me.
Man, he was so fired up for that little 40-minute rant about, I'm Joe Budden in case you forgot. I rap better than 97% of y'all. He really... I make $1 million every time Drake drops a diss.
Talk your shit, Joe. Talk your shit, Joe, because you know that when we get there, I'm going to have my sunglasses on and probably say some crazier shit on God, bro. Because when you get to that point, you can really pop your shit. Or, like the number one person, DJ Akademiks, you get drunk off some Hennessy and fall asleep on stream.
It's like, come on. It's just, it's night and day. I don't know. For me. I've never been an Ak fan though, so maybe I'm biased. But
when Ak gets in his bag, when Ak wants to be really good, he's really good. When he chooses to be, because he knows how to speak our language while being able to peel the curtain back, and it's like, oh, you did work at Complex. You are a student of the game. You do come from where we come from. You do live on social media. Like, you know what you're talking about. He also knows how to clickbait and clip farm and do all the bullshit. He knows what he's doing. And I think that why I'm more of an advocate for someone like Joe over the Aks, the Kais, is I think he treats his platform with care. Whereas I feel like Ak will kind of pimp his shit out for a short-term moment. For
it's a great
short-term clicks. And it works. And you know what I mean? I think he definitely has a place very, very high on this. But yeah, I don't think he should be number one.
Yeah, I think the only thing was just like, what didn't he premiere one of the disses in the beef? Didn't Drake send him the diss?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you can't ignore that. That's huge.
But it's just the him and Drake thing is so...
Yeah, but it kind of opened my eyes. I was like, wow, is stream radio? Like, are we going to move to a place where rappers want to premiere music on live streams that already have this big following? You know what I mean? And that kind of, I think he is actually the reason Kai's on the list. Because I think he, more than anything, blended what media is and what it means to be a media personality in the space. Because at this point, he's really more of a streamer and a social media journalist, right? Like, does he do any does he have, I guess he has his podcast, but it's just him, right?
Yeah. I think if we want to get into like the stream conversation, I just think that there's other up and coming streamers other than Kai who like converse and talk about hip hop and music and like are like listening to albums and giving like in-depth thoughts. Like, bro, I love that Black Boy Max kid. I want to give a shout out to him because you know like the Laced Max freestyle, but like Laser Dim. Like he had Molly Santana on the Save AJ like 16-minute freestyle where people are like, oh my god, this kid is like Juice WRLD. Like, this dude is bringing in artists all the time. Bruce Drop Him Off is starting a record label right now with that kid. Have you heard about the kid Protect?
No.
That he's launching right now. He's this thing called Ball Hog, bro. Like, Osama's son is fucking with him. He's blowing up an artist currently that's like talking to major labels. Like, I think there's just other streamers in the space that are around the same level as Kai or approaching that. Obviously, they're not Kai level, but they're more integrated in the music scene and kids know about them. And they do numbers on stream. Like, they're probably pulling more fans on a day-to-day basis than damn near this entire list besides Kai.
Damn, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good...
So I feel you. You're saying when you open that door, there's other names to include?
Yeah. Like, Kai doesn't really like... Kai's a media personality, but I don't think he'd take any slight to not being mentioned in hip-hop. And if you want to get more younger eyes on the Complex list, you could have shouted them out. But Complexed. There were some good picks. There were some bad picks. The reasoning was the reasoning.